Carbon County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and the Pledge of Allegiance. ASAP. Always say a prayer. God our Father, if it is your will, walk through our homes and take away our worries and illnesses. Please watch over and heal our families. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held March 23rd, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Are there any guests concerning county business at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Next item is a proclamation for adoption. Proclamation acknowledging month of April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. This is proclamation number 2023-003.
Motion adopt.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And I will start by reading the proclamation for the Children Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas child abuse and negligence is a complex and ongoing problem in our society affecting many children here in Carbon County each and every day. And
Whereas children are our most valuable resource and will shape the future of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And
Whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among families, community members, social service agencies, schools, religious and civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, medical facilities, and the business community. And
whereas in federal fiscal year 2021, 3.9 million, no, that's the wrong one. No way. Well, Chris went down here. I think you skipped one, Chris. Whereas children, did you read the whole thing?
no, I had protective factors and effective
Oh,
child
okay, well, you
care.
missed okay. Whereas children are our most valuable resource and will shape the future of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Whereas. I thought we were doing every third one.
No,
we
two
were doing
each,
two
two
each.
each.
Oh, okay, well, I only did one to start. Okay, well, I did two.
Okay.
Go ahead, Wayne.
All right.
Hey, let's restart.
Yes, let's start this over.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, how's that?
Sounds good. Go ahead,
Okay.
Rocky. Here we go.
Here we go again.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
We want to
Take
reset
that
there,
clip
Nicholas.
out of that film there. Okay.
Edit. Take two.
I will read the proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention
There
Month.
you go.
Whereas child abuse and neglect is a complex and ongoing problem in our society, affecting many children here in Carbon County each and every day. And
Whereas in fiscal year 2021, 3.9 million reports were made to Child Protective Services, and in Pennsylvania, 5,036 reports of child abuse were substantiated in 2021. And
Whereas children are our most valuable resource and will shape the future of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And
whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And
whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And
Whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among families, community members, social service agencies, schools, religious and civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, medical facilities, and the business community. And
Whereas our communities are stronger when all citizens become aware of the negative effects of child neglect. Protecting children against abuse and neglect requires the involvement of everyone. A combined effort is imperative to help families break the chain of abuse. And
whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment.
now therefore be it resolved, the Carbon County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim the month of April 2023 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Carbon County. Adopted this 30th day of March 2023, signed the Carbon County Board of Commissioners, attested Chief Clerk, County Administrator.
Jill, Chris, would you both like to come up? Okay, Jill, you want to have a seat, Chris, Tanner, comments and
Bring my sign. So we thank PA Family Support Alliance for the sign. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. And they also provided us with flags, blue flags, and blue ribbons. In case you're not aware, join us on April 4th of 2023 and wear blue for child abuse prevention. We're gonna have a flag and ribbons posted on county property to show all the children that were abused in 2022. We had 1,425 reports of general protective services and neglect in Carbon County. We had 318 reports of child abuse. And out of those 318, 7%, 23 reports were substantiated for child abuse. And we're gonna have 23 ribbons posted for those children, 3 of which are still in placement because of the severity of it. So please, on April 4th, wear blue in support of child abuse prevention. I also wanna say, how do we prevent abuse? It's not an easy answer, but out of those 23 children, 65% were sexual abuse. And the best way to prevent sexual abuse is to listen to your children when they say they're uncomfortable around a certain person, whether you know this person and known them your whole life, or whether you just met them yesterday. Please listen to your children and take that into account. Most children that are abused by someone they know. It's not that stranger danger that you hear. So please just listen to your children. And also, we all know it takes a village to raise our children. So the more support and resources that we have out there, if you have a child under the age of 5, we have Right from the Start, we have Early Head Start. If you qualify for those services, they're great programs to help children learn how to read, have social emotional skills, and those services are provided through grants and resources outside of our Children and Youth Agency. Also, I wanted to say the history of the Blue Ribbon. Bonnie Finney started this back in Virginia. She had a grandchild that died of abuse. She hung a blue ribbon from her minivan, and it has blown since then into April for Child Abuse Prevention Month. Wear a blue ribbon. You see, I gave everyone a support ribbon for child abuse prevention, and we hope that you'll join us on April 4th and wear blue. Thank you.
comments, Chris?
No.
Okay, thank you, Jill, and all the staff. Want to say? I want to say thank you to all the caseworkers. They have a very difficult job, make difficult decisions when or when not to place in placement or take the child out of the home.
I don't know, I don't think this is one you smile about, to be honest. I think it'd be inappropriate,
Well, I'm
you know?
talking about, he looks scared.
Oh,
I'm like, I'm not gonna fight.
We never got this close to the boss.
Thank you.
And we are looking for how many employees, caseworkers?
Out of 16, we have 9, so
Down to
Seven.
6.
7 caseworkers. If you have a bachelor's degree and want to help children and families in our area, please apply for be a caseworker.
Okay, thank you. Ready?
Next item is the report of executive sessions held.
There were 2 executive sessions held, one on Thursday, March 23rd at 1 PM for personnel reasons, and one on Monday, March 27th at 8:30 AM for personnel reasons.
Department reports, the budget transfers for 2022 and 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes,
Supplemental appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Expenditures, approval of payroll check numbers 74942 through 74966, and direct deposit check numbers 6051633 through 6052057 for their payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account for all county funds totaling $639,939.88. This is the payroll dated March 24th, 2023.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Approval of check numbers 235158 through 235243 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account totaling $709,945.71.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The treasurer's report.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The personnel report for county departments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Motion acknowledged.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
There's no correspondence received. Advertising for approval. Authorize the advertisement of the county's intent to enact an ordinance establishing and providing for parking kiosks and multi-space parking meters, unmetered parking lots, and regulating parking, ticketing, and providing penalties for violation.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Boards and authorities, Children and Youth Advisory Board. For appointment, a 3-year term to expire May 1st, 2025. Peter Miller of Jim Thorpe, this is filling a vacancy.
Move to appoint.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Housing Authority, resignation. Letter was received from Beverly Zip, submitting her resignation from the Carbon County Housing Authority, effective March 30th, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Appointment of Dina Fatale of Lehighton, Pennsylvania, to fill the vacancy and serve as a member of the Carbon County Housing Authority, term to expire December 31st, 2023, due to the resignation.
Move to approve.
Second. Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Housing Authority, resignation, letter received from Lisa Vignon, submitting her resignation from the Carbon County Housing Authority, effective April 17th, 2023.
Motion accept.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Appointment of Paula Fougere of Lehighton, Pennsylvania, to fill the vacancy and serve as a member of the Carbon County Housing Authority, effective April 17th, 2023, with a term to expire December 31st, 2024, due to the resignation.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Resignation, letter from Bill George submitting his resignation from the Carbon County Housing Authority effective March 30th, 2023.
Move to accept.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Appointment of Derek George of Lehighton, Pennsylvania, to fill the vacancy and serve as a member of the Carbon County Housing Authority, term to expire December 31st, 2027, due to the resignation.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Clerk of Courts, Vertical Filing Systems. For approval and execution, the proposal from Hanel Storage Systems of Warrendale, Pennsylvania, for the Clerk of Courts Office, new location on the first floor of the courthouse, under PA State Contract 4400025388, 2 units totaling $143,712.72. Installation, $23,477.84, for a total of $167,190.56.
Motion approved and execute.
second,
Discussion. All right. A vote by me in favor of two of these mechanisms, devices for the clerk of courts, would equate to my agreement with the unnecessary transfer of the clerk of courts office to the former adult probation space on the first floor. The cost of the unnecessary move is approximately $600,000. $600,000 for an unnecessary move of the clerk of courts from its current location, where it effectively and efficiently carries out its mission and its tasks, to a spot that will have to be significantly renovated to accommodate it. There is no doubt the district attorney does need some additional space. However, not at the cost of $600,000 or creating a problem for the clerk of courts to consistently and effectively carry out its primary task. The clerk of courts and its personnel and the district attorney's offices both have unique interactions with the courts. Unfortunately, with the minimum space available in the courthouse, we are always challenged to accommodate the staffs and their responsibilities that they have. Just 2 weeks ago, it might have been 3 weeks ago, when we talked about the loan that we had to take to cover some of our funds, my colleague mentioned in reference fiscal responsibility, right? Maintaining a current fund balance. Right now, we have about $4.8 million in the capital funds project, getting ready to start the courthouse renovation project. So now we want to go ahead into that project. We want to throw in $600,000. Plus, there is a discussion of a potential another $335,000 for audio equipment for the courts. I am not comfortable, nor do I believe, that the financial resources are available to support all that is planned in the courthouse renovation. So therefore, I would find it fiscally irresponsible to invest unnecessarily $600,000 in an unnecessary move by the clerk of courts to the first floor, knowing that the space on the first floor, with minor modifications in about tune of about $50,000, could accommodate the district attorney's office, because it would include the old adult probation plus the 2 former public defenders' space. If the district attorney was to move from its current location down to the first floor, it would be increasing its space 42%, from about 1,129 square feet to 1,729. And then the clerk of courts would have a slight diminishment of the square footage. By going to the first floor, the district attorney not only would gain additional square footage, but also access to a conference room that it does not necessarily have convenience access to. So therefore, as we go for a vote, I will be opposing 2 units for the clerk of courts, as it would infer that I support any move of the clerk of courts unnecessarily from its current position.
A motion to make this move passed 2-1 a few months ago. In moving the clerk of courts to the first floor, we would be keeping those offices all in the former adult probation area. The 2 small offices or rooms where the public defender previously occupied can now be used by adult probation or attorneys that have to meet with their clients. Note that most of our visitors to the second floor, to the clerk of courts, are there to pay their fines. So why unnecessarily send those people throughout the courthouse to pay their fines and bills when we could do it on the first floor, right where security is at? It's inconvenience to the district attorney as well, where the courtrooms are on the second and third floor. So while your calculations say the cost might be $600,000, I would dispute that, because some of those renovations must be done no matter where or who we put in those particular offices. So
The only modification that needs to be done is painting, carpeting, and wallpaper at approximately $25,000 compared to $579,000. And I'm gonna ask the clerk of courts, do you need to move?
I do not.
Did you request to move?
I did not. And I'd like to make a comment if I could, Wayne. I believe your comment just now, the majority of the people coming to my office are to pay. That is incorrect. The majority of the people that frequent my office are court employees. We have increased our online payments significantly, which has reduced the public coming to my office.
So Tyra, would one Rotomatic or one of these systems be sufficient if you were not to move? And because I recall, we have $87,000 budgeted for that?
That is correct. I would only need one.
Okay, thank you.
I have a functioning one in addition to the new one.
Okay.
did you ever ask the district attorney what his requirements would be for the filing in that first floor?
Well, I will tell you that previously I met with the district attorney and provided him an alternate plan to the unnecessary move that is being promulgated by yourself and the DA.
And I mean, my comments on the renovation of this, I mean, I think we were gonna try and do, some of this ourselves before this project even started, and, I thought our estimate to do that carpet was $30,000 alone. And I'm looking at we didn't find out what the ceiling was gonna cost and everything else. And the only thing that's different about here is one extra filing system, because the way I understood it, there was one in the budget already for this year, if I'm correct. Am I correct? Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
So
Yep.
now, and that's what I said, we're ballooning this out of proportion. And I think one of my reasons for this, and I'm going way back to one of our first meetings, and I think everybody sees how the nature of people have changed over the last 2 years, what kind of security you have to do. And I just remember one of the points that was the first thing that was told to me, that they have to keep the door locked, they're afraid of people coming in. And in today's society, we have security is number one. And by being downstairs, they're 20 feet away from the 2 guards at the front door, and there was always discussion about it. Yes, there's guards upstairs, but if somebody comes in here and wants to attack, then people upstairs are for the courtrooms. If they leave, if there's 2 people in conjunction with trying to do something, that's taken away from the courts. So I'm just going back to the whole thing, and I think this is blown out of proportion what it's gonna cost. It would be the cost of taking the wall down, and I don't see where much of the other costs would be in it, except redoing the floor to hold the weight. I estimate it's probably costing maybe somewhere around 200,000, different than if we would, whoever would move in there.
Well then, Commissioner, you forgot a meeting we recently had with Boyle Construction, who's overall responsible for this project. $350,000 for general construction, $70,000 for ADA improvements that kick in because of that, $85,000 for the Rotomatic, $50,000 more or less for the furniture, $25,000 I said for painting, carpeting, and wallpaper. You just said it's $30,000 for carpeting alone, so I can up that to $50,000. That'll take me well over $600,000. So the public defender, or excuse me, the district attorney, individuals who go to meet with the district attorney and the lawyers, right? What type of individuals are they? Are they any better or any worse of a security threat than what is going into the clerk of court's office? Individuals who have already been convicted of a fine or been required to make payment versus individuals who may not yet even have been sentenced, so we don't know their guilt or innocence. Who is a greater threat in the courthouse to be wandering around on the second floor? Again, fiscally responsible, security, common sense is all right here. And we're getting ready to throw all three of those away right now, right? Laying the groundwork for a significant error. Again, not doing what's in the best interest of the taxpayers or efficient, effective, and responsive county government.
So you don't want to, if the clerk of courts would stay upstairs, you do not want to address any ADA issues then? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
Well, then don't include
No.
them within this budget.
It
because
is, it's a
that bu-
requirement, Commissioner
It is a
Arner.
requirement, but it's something we picked to redo the bathrooms. We have bathrooms that have steps going up that handicapped people can't even get at. And that has nothing tied to the clerk of courts.
Okay,
It
so
does
let's-
for the money, but this is something that we wanted to generally do anyway. If it's not making any difference, we're still gonna do the bathrooms. Are you suggesting if she stays up there, we don't do anything? We don't upgrade the bathrooms or anything?
So let's go from 600,000 to 125,000. So let's go ahead and throw. The only reason this 70,000 ADA is being thrown in there isn't because of the will of these three commissioners to throw it in there. By law, we're required to. We sat there and spent minutes talking about how could we avoid that $70,000 ADA upgrade. Again, it was done in executive session and it was talked about. How could we avoid that $70,000? And they told us we couldn't. If we move with this project, then we're gonna incur the $70,000 of ADA upgrades. And then we made the decision, where do we wanna apply that? Back to areas of which we originally wanted to do, but had cut out of the program. And don't talk ADA to me, someone who has a special needs child, because no one looks more after the needs of special individuals with special needs than Chris Lukasevich, who sits at this table.
And we should have never cut the ADA out in the first place.
Agree. So
That
let's
was-
keep it in there.
that was
I
my
agree,
opinion
Rocky.
right from the
Let's
beginning.
keep it in there. Yep.
Like,
Don't
why
make
did
it-
we even cut that out?
But don't make it an issue if it's required regardless. You're certainly entitled to your opinions. I have a different perspective. I think your numbers are off. You're just playing the numbers games, and that is.
Well, then we might as well fire Boyle Construction, because they're giving numbers, and we're taking them in. So we should be firing them.
And we won't know what the numbers are until the bids come back. We're just speculating what it costs.
They're estimates.
Yeah.
They were sure accurate on 44 Susquehanna and 76, so I'll give them that.
Yeah. Well-
Surprisingly, I think.
Well, this is a little bit of a different issue. This
Yeah.
is working on a
Yeah.
building that's 100 and some years old.
Yeah.
It's a little different than working on a newer building.
Yeah.
Any further comments?
We're good. No, we're
No,
good.
we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next item, the Prothonotary for approval and execution. Proposal from Hanover Storage Systems of Warrendale, Pennsylvania for the Prothonotary's office. Pennsylvania State Contract 4400025388. 1 unit, $66,325.45. Installation, $8,667 for a total of $74,992.45.
Motion approved and execute.
Second?
Discussion. How much has the Prothonotary agreed to contribute from her $77,028.70 automation fund to help offset the cost to the taxpayer versus the use fee that she collects? Was there anything?
There has not been a conversation with her regarding her contribution.
Yeah. So as I've previously done when it comes to automation for the row offices, I would ask that we go back, table this for 1 week, see what contribution she will make towards this. We've asked multiple times before for a contribution from the automation fund with no positive response. Again, should be contributing to the automation needs of her office, and that is the specific reason for those funds.
I can check into that. I'm not sure if a filing system can be put under automation funds. I know that she is to contribute to the Tyler project, since that involves software and moving documents through a paperless system.
But she never agreed to pay towards the Tyler system. She continues to go back to the argument that the previous Prothonotary utilized funds that should not have been moved, and keeps using that as that office's contributions for everything automation wise.
So that fund is set aside for automation. It cannot be used for anything else. So it's not like the Thonotary or any of the other offices that have the access or can use these funds will use it for anything but. Just because there's a fund balance in there now doesn't mean it would not be used towards the Tyler system or anything else of that nature.
She's already said she wouldn't use it. Again, not having looked into the legalities of it since it first came up 3 years and 2 months ago. Automation fund, Rotomatic is an automation device. It makes work more effective, more efficient.
So your only argument is that she should be helping to pay or.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But she
Yeah,
it does need to.
absolutely.
She does need that equipment, and this is the second filing system that
Yeah.
failed in her
Yeah.
office this year. Fortunately, they were able to repair a board in the controls of this unit. There are several other units similar, clerk of court, public defenders. 2 others in the register are Prothonotarians alone that are getting older. They're failing. The district attorney's office, one collapsed a few years ago, and we had to buy them, and it's a lot of complicated computerized boards and controls on this equipment, and I'm certainly not too sure these are the best, but because of the confinements of the space,
Yeah.
et cetera. Another reason, another on-scene expenditure this year, so.
Yeah, we absolutely need this one.
Yeah,
We've
we
seen
do.
it. We know that obviously it's.
Yeah, and I
It's
think,
how we're gonna pay for it.
yeah, and the
Right,
thing
yeah.
about it, I think what we have to, like, we got hit, I mean, through the renovations, we got hit with 3 of them.
Yeah.
But I think this is something that we have to look into. I think we have 4 or 5 other units
Yeah.
that are around,
Yeah.
that I think we should be looking into to replacing, like we replace our cars. I mean, we replace our cars, and this is a functional thing that they need.
And this was one of the newer ones.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's something I think we have to look in the future of replacing these, you know, put them on some kind of a schedule. And I think I go back to the controller again. You know, the controller was asking for dates, how this stuff is, how long do we have it, how long does it last? And there's one thing I think that we failed at here, that we have to get this more together and try to get all of it throughout the whole county, not just this. But this is something I think we gotta look into, because here we got hit with a $200,000 bill. you know, that you really don't expect. And I think if we put that within the budget and maybe replace a couple of them or one, you know, every 2 years or every 3 years, within a couple of years, we'll have them all updated. That doesn't mean they're not gonna fail as a brand new unit though either.
See, I think the problem is we keep going back to our well, the taxpayer
Yeah, I
money,
know,
right,
yeah.
in the contingency.
Yeah.
When there is non-taxpayer
Yeah.
revenue here in the
Yeah.
automation fund, right?
Yeah.
There's individuals who are filing fees and such that they're taken from. So a percentage of that should be being pulled to support those automation efforts if it's legally fits within.
Yeah, and
the
I
use of
I
those
don't know
funds.
how that automation fund is set up. Is it like, can we create something in the policy of it that, you know, I don't know how that works. Is there something that,
When you implement a fund like this, you have to spell it, it's only, expenses that are qualified, such as computer systems and, printers, et cetera. Anything you need to upgrade your records improvement, you know, it's a good question whether it would qualify under records improvement, that we don't know, but, programs, computer programs, et cetera. But I think the other point that we are kind of touched on here, we have had the conversation before, the ball got dropped somehow on, not only our maintenance, program, that we can track when things were
Yeah.
installed, when they were purchased, what the expected, life expectancy is, and that's why right now you hear the bumping and thuds here on the roof, putting a new roof on. We know the air conditioning unit is at end of life, so why fix the roof and then tear it up again just to put air conditioning in? But I think we must pursue a maintenance program for our maintenance director and be more vigilant with open with the row offices and department heads in developing long-term plans and projected life expectancy on, we do it with computers and all the other equipment we have, and including the maintenance of roofs, et cetera, so.
So I'm gonna move the table for 1 week so we can go back to the prothonotary and see if in this particular instance, if she would be willing to commit, if it fits within the scope of the use of the automation funds to give something towards this. Same thing we had asked about the Tyler system. Again, some row office, I think 2 row offices did provide something for that, but 1 did not, which was the prothonotary. So,
Do we have a second?
yeah. So we'll allow her to continue to hoard funds.
Okay, I'll go back to the original motion that was moved and seconded. Mr. Arner?
yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes,
Next item, information technology for approval and execution. A 1-year renewal service support agreement with Visual Sound Incorporated of Broomall, Pennsylvania, for the audio and visual technological equipment located at 44 Susquehanna Street at a cost of $5,789 for the term of April 1, 2023 through March 31st, 2024.
Move to approve and execute.
Second, I guess, on discussion, was this, what did we only have on, was it only a 1-year warranty originally or what?
Yes,
Oh, okay,
Yeah, with the contract.
yes.
okay, all right.
Okay.
And
Mr.
this
Honor?
was budgeted, I understand.
I hope it was.
Right, yeah, I think Jerry did. Yeah, all right, yeah,
Okay.
all right, yeah.
Mr. Honor?
Yes,
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Insurance for approval and execution. The Loss Control Program Administration Policy, appointing Lisa O'Donnell as Loss Control Coordinator.
Move to approve and execute.
second,
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Purchase of service agreement. For approval and execution, a purchase of service agreement under a Sourcewell contract with Edwards Business Systems of Wyomissing, Pennsylvania, for 1 HP copier printer at a total cost of $1,250.71, with the charges of .01592 for black and white and .07359 for color copies billed quarterly for the animal shelter. Maintenance will be fixed for the first 3 years with a 5% increase on the anniversary of install.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Register of Wills for approval and execution, another purchase of service agreement under the Sourcewell contract with Edwards Business System of Wyomissing, Pennsylvania, for a BizHub copier printer at a total cost of $5,148.07, .00515 for black and white, .04136 per color copy billed quarterly. Maintenance will be fixed for the first 3 years with a 5% increase on the anniversary of install.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The Sheriff's Department, for approval and execution, a license agreement with Permitium LLC of Pineville, North Carolina, for an online license to carry permit application to be associated with the PFAs. The agreement shall automatically renew for successive one-year term unless terminated by either party upon a 60-day written notice. A convenience fee back to the county of $5 will be charged for each application submitted. No cost to the county.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The Solicitor's Report?
Thank you. Used county equipment, used equipment that was referenced in the previous resolution 23-007 of March 16, 2023, was posted for sale and no bids were received. So it's necessary to request authorization to dispose of the equipment.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes.
Nothing further. For any further business? Hearing none, Commissioners' reports. Mr. Honor?
I just want to thank you for the services that everybody on our today's agenda that resigned, that were very good people on our committees, and I want to welcome the new ones that are coming. We did have a meeting about the courthouse renovation. We still have to meet with all the departments yet on how we're going to do this, but we sort of broke it down into, like, I think the first floor is going to be like done in 2 sections. And then there's gonna be another move, then the second floor will be worked on, and then the third floor, but there's a lot of details that have to be worked out between everybody. I mean, we sort of just started preliminary things, so we'll get that together. And one of the other things I just wanna bring up, yesterday, and this was something that's been like irritating me for probably a year already, our bridges that we have. We did get a report on our bridges. We have approximately, I think, 4 bridges that are in need of work. And it's something that can't be put off on these. I don't feel like we have like a 5-year or a 20-year plan. It can't be done. I think some of this has to be done, and we're talking about saving money. We have to fix some of these bridges when they cost only $200,000-$300,000 to fix them now, instead of replacing them at millions of dollars. And if the news would please do me a favor, and I've been down there before, go down to the one where they're working at 443 where the Borough Building is, on Penn Street. I was there this morning. That bridge is terrible. It's a place where, I mean, we can't close the bridge because it's useful to the community. You know, and you see it in some of these other communities, if it's Strasburg, when they close a bridge, that affects all the business, because no matter what PennDOT says, the people are not gonna go by their approved routes. They're gonna go the routes that they were always used to. And I said, I was there this morning, I'm shocked at what our bridge looks like. I have the pictures, I could send the media any pictures, but go down and take a picture of it. There's holes in the bridge, and it was not like that a year ago. When the project started there in 443, when you would come to the stoplight there at Pizza Hut, you could see, and there's traffic backed up. Where are they gonna go? Our bridge, our route to go. That was not a approved PennDOT route, but I think PennDOT in these projects gotta look at, and it's just not our county, it's all counties. When they have an approved route, our people are gonna go the easiest route, which is affecting our bridges. And like I said, it's not our county, it's every county. I think when they ruin, and they're gonna say that the people shouldn't be on there, but they're gonna go there. In fact, the other night, I think on Channel 16, the guy from PennDOT, he goes, well, we know that they're gonna go on them routes. Then when they plan them, just like we do, we have overruns for things. Why don't they have overruns? They spend billions of dollars on a highway, but they can't give $5 million to a county to repair these bridges that are getting damaged. And I think their excuses of saying it's not our fault is over with, because they know where people are gonna go. So I mean, I don't know, and I said, in fact, the guy that was here yesterday said about it, oh yeah, I mean, they gave a well report on it. I mean, I think, they spelled it out pretty much what it is, and that's a service that we have. You know, it's not the state, but I'm like fear of what our future is gonna be like. We're talking about the taxes. If we get hit with a bridge or 2 or 3 of them, that's gonna cost us $5 million. Where are we gonna get $20 million? And why aren't there some, and I think yesterday David Bodner from planning said he might be able to get a grant for it, but there's never any kind of coordination with that. I mean, we've been complaining about this bridge for a long time. You know, nobody comes in here and says, you know what? And they closed the bridge. Like I think 2 weeks ago, they closed our bridge. They closed the entrance to it. Either way. Now, it would have been nice to say, you know what? We're closing this bridge. Wouldn't it be a good idea, while this is closed, while we're working on 443 till 2025, wouldn't it be a good idea to try and work on that bridge and fix it? Or what are we gonna do? Wait until the traffic starts going on it and then repair it? You know, nobody's working in coordination with us. But they give us guidelines, and I don't know what we get to work on our bridges. How many bridges do we have? 20? Total 21 altogether. And what do we get? About $500,000. If that, to work on all them bridges. You know, it's like unbelievable. And I said, like, you hear about this infrastructure money, where is it? I haven't seen it. So, I mean, I'm just going to the media. I mean, I think it's a very good story on this, that just walk over there and look at the bridge. I stopped this morning on the way, and it's like, I mean, there's holes in the bridge now. And it's from that route, and everybody was going over. They had dump trucks going over. There was a route to get around the stoplight there at 9th Street and 443. You know, and like I said, I think the state has to look a little bit more in it. And I think last time I made a comment like this, the state called up and had some issues. Well, they can call me. They can gladly call me again. And that's all I have.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yeah, first in regards to personnel, it said lament the resignation of Kathy Kramer from Nesquehoning. She's a parking attendant, and she really epitomized kind of the moniker of a parking ambassador. Anyone who was ever down here on a Saturday or a Sunday when there's heavy traffic down there in the parking lot, you know, Kathy was always kind of Johnny on the spot, helping people, and just had a great attitude under even the most stressing of times down there in the parking lot. So I lament the loss of Kathy and her resignation, and that'll tie into kind of the parking ordinance here in a minute. Did want to make a mention, because I saw Dan Kunkel is here. That brought to mind the fact that we this week we have provided the opportunities for accepting applications for the Open Space Advisory Board through the end of April. That's that 7-member board that we're having established as an advisory board to the Board of Commissioners in regards to how to utilize funds to obtain or protect open space and ag land. And that's available at carboncountypa.gov, that application. Clarify, when I voted against the Rotomatics for the clerk of courts, my reservation opposition, obviously, I think it was obvious, was to the one that was not budgeted for and is being brought into the project for the courthouse. The clerk of courts previously did budget for one that we approved in the 2023 budget. Whole home repair program, we did receive our first, or our funding, and it was $1.053 million. And that was actually about $6,900 above what our normal allocation was. We were informed out at CCAP in one of our conferences, there are a couple counties that for some reason didn't accept the money, so that money was redistributed, so we got about an extra $6,900. Make no mistake.
6,900, 69,000.
6,900. Yeah, you know, it's something though. But, you know, and in that regard, make no mistake, that which the elected officials of the borough of Jim Thorpe have failed to do when it comes to 204, 206 Center Avenue, that is my focus for at least $50,000 of that, right? It's a crying shame what has taken place up there at 204, 206 Center Avenue. And these are the type of funds that can help do what needs to be done in regards to taking care of our citizens and addressing the blight problem. The parking ordinance, 3 big changes. I expected Amy, James, or Ryan were gonna ask anyhow. So we have fine increases that are taking place, and we can send you the actual comparison of before and after. It's a small uptick. We previously had approved using a collection agency, let's call it, versus the magistrate to go after fines. So that has been added to there. So anything over 14 days that are in arrears, it goes to T2, who's our parking authority, and they go head out and collect those funds. And that has been gaining us some revenue that we previously would not have collected, mostly when it comes down to state individuals. And then the third change then would be in regards to the rented spaces. During snow and ice events or emergencies, the renters are now required to move their vehicles all the way up to the north end of the parking lot, so Larry and the maintenance team can more effectively and efficiently, you know, clear the parking lots. And the risk is you don't move it, you're fined, or you're towed. So again, fine increases, using that third-party collection, and rented spaces were the 3 major things that I had seen in the ordinance change. Lastly, I'm going to mention, because there were questions here and comments publicly made, the Board of Commissioners stated that in March we would produce kind of a challenge for those individuals who felt their compensation was not fairly adjusted after the salary study. That policy was published, I believe it was this morning. It went out to the department heads and row officers. So that formal process is out on the street. That's all I have.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to thank the children and youth workers, the case workers, for what they do. They make some extremely difficult decisions, whether to keep a child in the home or not. But recently, they had a little luncheon with for the police officers, and it was good to hear, talking to police officers, how they respected our caseworkers and how they come out there and work together in getting the child put in maybe a proper placement into a foster care, or keeping the child at home. But they were awful grateful for the work that they do as well, because they see it firsthand when they get out into these homes. And I believe these homes are not always the nicest places to be. They're filthy, overcrowded, several people living there, but it happens in good homes as well. But I want to thank those people. I can't thank them enough for what they do, and like we said, you know, we're looking for caseworkers all the time. Being down 6 or 7, it's difficult to keep them. We all know about our water issues again, now at the 44 building. Sprinkler head failed and flooded the floor. We were extremely fortunate. It was not in the room where the machines are stored. Some of the black bags did get wet, the carrying bags, and maybe there was the one I looked at had a electrical strip in there that maybe we shouldn't be using. So. But they can be cleaned up, the bags themselves cleaned up, dried, and used. Currently, the elections is still on the 2nd floor. We're able to move the computers and phone lines and that, and make room for them to operate out of that same building. Hopefully, by Monday, they'll be back in there.
Yeah,
We'll
but
see.
I think by Friday, they should, well, actually today they might be taking all the fans out. And then tomorrow we should be able to move, the elections back down, because they have to start verifying the machines on Monday. So they're gonna need the space there, but it looks good. I mean, I think the outfit that did the cleaning did a very thorough job, very, very thorough.
Yeah, the main damage was in the conference room, meeting room, on the floor in particular. The closet where the tile, sprinkler head failed, of course, that was bad, took the ceiling out, but we're very fortunate again on, and we're gonna have to make a decision like we had here on replacing the flooring possibly, or whatever we have to do, so we're still in the preliminary estimate of damage and what we have to do to get that building back up.
The adjuster will be here at 12 o'clock. So,
So here we go.
and I think what Wayne's talking about is the carpet. I said it's clean water, you think, but it's still sort of contaminated because it's in rusty pipes and, you know, and all these things were made with oil to manufacture the pipes, you know, to roll them. And what winds up happening, that contaminates the carpet. And I think we're very lucky. I think the only thing that really got the major damage was the carpet. And it looks like all the carpet will be replaced, just for that reason.
Yeah, we did move our 4 meetings that we habitually have down there. Ag land planning, animal shelter, and council of governments have been temporarily relocated to the commissioners' conference room for a month or two.
Sorry to cut it in your report,
Yeah.
but there was stuff we forgot. You got-
Right. No, but, the other thing, as you can hear today, they're working on the roof, the air conditioning units, because it'll be, what, another 2 months or so till that project is completed. They're finally here working on the elevator.
Yes,
Hopefully within, what, 2 weeks?
we might have a ribbon cutting for that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
After 3 months, they're working on that. It's a busy place with the issue and the water leak here on the 3rd floor, so that project's going on, and eventually this summer, we're getting ready to go out to bids on the paving of this parking lot. So it doesn't end there, we have to look at repairing the footbridge, pedestrian bridge here, so don't get too used to coming into the
Yeah.
parking lot and using that bridge, you may have to still climb the
Climb up a
steps
ladder. Oh, no, the elevator might be fixed by then. No.
So, yeah, we, a lot of things going on. Did a drone fly over the courthouse roof. We're still waiting for those issues. I mean, every time we turn around, it's something else. Furnace set to 525 building, so it's just been one heck of a year as far as, you know, things happening, things going on. You never know what to expect. And of course, that water leak on Friday afternoon, you know, it's I knew it was not good when I walked down there and I see the water coming out the front door. Not a good sign, so frustrating. The other, I think we covered most of the other maintenance projects, but things are moving along. If you drive past the 525 Street building, they're putting the sheeting on the walls. They're supposed to be working on the roof this week too as well, weather permitting, and hopefully that'll be done next week, weather permitting. So the roof, just the roof part, but they are getting there, so. I think that's all I have for one day. Meeting adjourned. Amy, welcome back for a week or two.
Good morning, Ed. With regards to the parking ordinance, can I get a copy of the fine increases for the?
Certainly.
Why were there so many resignations and changeovers with the housing authority?
I don't know. I think it's just, I mean, there have been people, I think, that have been dedicated for years.
One
And, yeah,
health issues.
yeah, and it's like, I mean,
People just decided.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah, it was just like, it just seemed odd that there were.
Like a wave of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How many members are on that board?
9?
is it 9 or
I think it's 9, somewhere around there. I can
it's
get
7?
that
I think,
number.
I think it's, I'm not sure. It might, I think it is 7, I thought. I'm not sure, but,
I'll check for you.
Yeah.
I'll give you that number before you leave.
Okay, thank you. Just to confirm, for the clerk of courts filing system, you purchased the 2 even though Tyra said she only needed the 1, correct? It was a 2 to 1 for that?
yes.
It was one if I state where I was at.
Yeah, we would have needed 1 either way.
Okay.
I mean,
And one was
And-
budgeted for.
Yeah,
We
the
had
one was
approved.
budgeted
Yeah.
for, so the other one is under the project, you know, the additional would be the
Yeah.
additional one
It was
for,
a little confusing.
yeah, no.
And so basically, I'm trying to make sure I have this all right. The district attorney and the clerk of courts are both up on the second floor.
Correct.
Neither wanna move, it sounds like it.
No.
Well,
The district
one has
attorney, the district attorney would like to have the clerk of court space to expand, because they do need additional space. You go up there, you see it. The clerk of courts doesn't have a need, because they're effectively, efficiently organized and made moves.
The other issue that we didn't even bring up today is that the IT in the courts will also be taking some of that room in the current clerk of court's office in the back there,
Up on the second floor too.
on the second floor. So part of those construction costs would be closing a door and putting a door in between the current IT and the office space that's in the corner of that office in the back.
Okay, may I get a copy with, the Penn Street Bridge and the report that you were talking about?
We didn't get them yet.
You didn't get it?
yeah, I don't, and I don't think the report, like when, like the report, they've been working on this for a long time. And I think it's only been I mean, they could have did this assessment 4 months ago. And what has happened, I mean, I drive over that bridge and I said, like with me, like if you live in a town, they're gonna put markers up, okay, I'm working on your street, don't park there, right? I come around, I think 2 Saturdays ago, whenever they close it, I come around the corner there, I'm going over to, 443 and it's closed. I don't even know that it was closed. You would think, and I don't know if they ever send us anything, that they closed our bridge. You'd think there would be some kind of procedure that they would do. They just closed their bridge, and the way I understand it, there's gonna be a turning lane there. So what's gonna happen when they have a turning lane? Or, we don't even know, is it gonna be an exit? Can you get out onto 443? Is there gonna be a turning lane, an exit to get out? Or how are they gonna do it? And
Technically, they didn't close the bridge, they closed the road. The
Yeah,
bridge
they
is still
closed-
open
yeah,
to
yeah, the bridge-
Snyder Tire.
yeah,
the,
yeah, they can get over there.
The other
but-
business there as well as a resident, 2 residents there.
Yeah.
With regards to the Promedium license agreement, I guess this is more of the sheriff.
Yeah.
What exactly, why do you need this online license to carry permit with the PFAs?
So it's actually, it doesn't have anything to do with PFAs. So one of the issues that we've had in the sheriff's office for years has been people coming in to apply for a license to carry permits. We have to put that information into the state system, which sometimes you can get it done in 5 minutes, other times it'll take 4 hours.
Oh, this was the delay
Right,
project,
so you
okay.
may remember a few weeks ago, Wayne asked a question about how that was going, and I had been working on a solution, found a vendor, and now we're gonna work to create that for the sheriff's office. So this contract that we enter into will create an online option that currently we don't have. So instead of people having to come in and wait, they could do it from their smartphone, they could go to the website. There's several options. We'll still enter all the information into the system. Once it's approved, we will then call them, and they will then have 5 days to come in, get their picture, pay their fee, show us their driver's license, and they're in and out in, I think it was 7 minutes. So anybody choosing that option will greatly reduce the wait time that we've had before. And they could also still come in and apply in person or through an appointment as they've always had. It is at no cost to the county, it is very user-friendly, and I think there's 23 or 26 other sheriff's offices across the Commonwealth who are already using it. So the benefit that I see in that is we don't have to recreate the wheel. If this is already working and working well in other areas, it's nice to be able to pick up the phone and call another sheriff that I have a relationship with to say, hey, how did you handle this? How did you communicate it out to people? So once we get this set up, there'll be a media release that Promedium will do that will explain it and hopefully answer questions. And then for anybody who is a renewal, we send out letters 60 days before it expires. This information will now be included in all of those letters for renewals as well.
Okay, thank you. With the courthouse renovation, do you have an anticipated date when you're going to be going out to bid?
Hopefully within.
What do you think, Ellen?
How
That's the way it
about,
has changed,
how about June? June.
been
How's
pushed
June?
off again.
Oh, in fact, I don't wanna harp on this bridge too much again, but, but we're talking about this closure, they're actually, and Wayne is correct on it, they didn't close our bridge, but they closed the road. But they are actually using our bridge for their employees that were working on 443 to park. So now, if that's supposed to be a throughway, a two-way, like how can you park on a bridge like that and block that to go to Snyder's Tires? I mean, they're, like, if we do something wrong, you gotta put barriers up, make sure there's curbing here, the whole 9 yards. And they're just, like, I just don't get it. I don't,
Yeah, really.
yeah.
Commissioner Lukasevich, with the whole home repair program, has the county decided on who is administrating it and all that kind of stuff yet?
No, since the money just came in, and obviously we've been doing some work parallel, but we're just at our initial stages of figuring out how we're gonna organize and how the program is gonna be run. Interesting, you mentioned the Housing Authority. We're gonna host a meeting with them to see how we can potentially synchronize and coordinate our efforts with programs that they have and who actually will manage the aspects of the program. Because we have variable options.
Applications have to come through from the municipalities.
Yeah, is what we're seeking, right? Well, they're individual grants. Remember what we mentioned, we want the communities who have blight programs to at least look at them and say, hey, this one particularly, kind of meets, or is within our priorities of blight remediation and mitigation to try to help, utilize the funds as much as possible for those communities that have blight plans.
Okay, and then to piggyback off that with the blight, I know a few weeks ago Abby Gordiani and some of the municipalities were here. Has there been any discussion taking place with regards to their request?
Not really, but my feeling is on it, she's been pushing it to get it done, been trying to, contacting us. I'm willing to do it, but the municipalities have to step up to the plate, and before I would vote yes on it, I think we should have that, stipulations in place. I think because of the, it's not a lot of money, and I think we have to hold our local municipalities accountable as well. Maybe a 50-50 match, because we have so many places that are blighted, and it's gonna cost a tremendous amount of money to eliminate these, and we can't depend on that fund alone. We have to decide how we are going to prioritize who's gonna get the money. That's the difficulty of it, and until we have those things figured out, I'm not gonna vote for it until we know how we're gonna do it. I don't know.
So
I guess we could vote for it, but figure it out later, but I'd rather have some kind of agreement with the municipalities that, if that's okay with them. If they aren't gonna step up to the plate and contribute 50%, then, why should we, increase the fees?
So basically more discussion.
Right. I think we all agree, the communities that would be, probably have access to those funds would definitely have to have a blight plan, right? And unfortunately, I think there's just a couple communities that currently have a blight plan. We did receive an update from the Recorder of Deeds that she could easily implement with no charge or fee to the county to provide that capability in her recording fees. So that is a step in the last couple weeks. Donna did look into it.
And I think there's some stuff too, like, what I've heard, if we would do this, supposedly there's supposed to be money behind this, from the state. But I think we'd have to talk with the state, what are they willing to commit? Can they commit so much to Carbon County? Now, if they would give $200,000-300,000, then our minimum would really help out. Then it would help out, maybe you could give, you know, 5, 6 projects, $50,000. But right now, it looks like how would you be able to even distribute? Like last year was a good year. What was it, $93,000 they took in? So now in this year, if there's not that much transfers, are we even gonna have close to that? What are you gonna do with $80,000 throughout the whole county? I mean, we need millions of dollars.
Well, the other thing in there, I think we should include with a max as well, whether it be
Yeah.
25
Yeah,
or,
Yeah.
or 50,000 per municipality, because
yeah.
I have a feeling we're gonna get a lot of applications, so. Yeah, so we have to set a limit on that as well. We just can't give 80,000 here to one municipality. You know, it's gonna take 50 years to we'll never catch up.
No.
Amy, DCED did state at our CCAP, our Commissioners Conference, that they expect the whole home repair program to be a recurring program, you know, so it's not a one-off. At least that's what DCED, the program manager for the whole home repair program, that is the vision. So, but again, that can't be used for demolition, right? So that's one part of it, you know, so you have to take all these different pieces and bring them together to, and you know, with our double home problem we have here, the side-by-sides, makes it challenging.
Thank you. With regards to the building here, have you guys got your insurance adjuster figures for all the damage?
Probably after today, I have all the figures, like all the damages, and we were even putting in like lost time for hours when we send people home. In fact, I'm giving that to the adjuster today, so we should have everything, hopefully, again, by the end of the week, tomorrow, that, I mean, he said as soon as he gets it, he's gonna process it. And, then we have to sit down and figure out how we're gonna do it with everybody moving offices around here. I see Mark smiling. So I don't think it's gonna be as big as a project like the courthouse is. I mean, this here, we can move people around and, you know, some maybe working remotely. But, we should be able to manage this pretty well here.
I think I'm finally done. Thank you very much.
Okay. Right.
Just talk about how important it is for the Child Abuse Awareness kind of month, and kind of make that proclamation.
Well, I think the public has to be aware how important it is to report any suspected cases of child abuse. Hospitals, doctors, et cetera, schools, where a lot of the referrals come from, as well as police departments when they get into some of these situations, domestic disputes, et cetera. But even the public, a neighbor, has to be aware of some of the signs, the bruising all the time of the child, or other, I can't think of any other things offhand, but if they suspect sexual abuse or anything, behavioral health issues with children or neighbors that you might see that seems odd to you, it is better to call the child hotline, make that referral, let children and youth come out and assess the situation and make a decision there. And a lot of times when these things are, if there's multiple children in the home, it's not only one child, they have to investigate the other children. They have to investigate or talk to all the residents of the home. A lot of times you'll have multiple family members, grandparents or aunts or uncles living there or whatever. The child, if it's in a daycare, they'll have to be investigated or talk to anyone that has been coming into a frequent contact with that child has to be contacted and interviewed. So these cases can be very short or very extended periods of time. We had a near drowning of a child not too long ago. Unfortunately, the child survived, but the child and the family was from out of county, out of state. So it makes it very difficult for our people to investigate a lot of these people. It could take days, and they only have so many times to start their investigation. It has to be, as soon as it's reported, they have so many hours to start their investigation, and it could be rather extended. And a lot of these occur in the evening or at night. So when they get called out to these things, especially from the police departments, more so than during the day. So it's extremely important that the public is aware or looks for the signs of possible child abuse or mental issues that could be caused by sexual abuse or physical abuse.
The only other last thing they wanted me to ask, is there any trainings going on at the training center this weekend, or any burns or anything like that?
Yeah, we've been doing our practice right now. We're gonna do one Saturday. It looks like a washout, but I think the first interior firefighting class starts early April, the 4th, I believe. The sheriff has 2 active shooter training sessions. Both of those, 3 are actually scheduled for the training center for the police building. So, yeah, it's getting scheduled. We have other courses scheduled for the year. So it's starting to get used. Everybody's chomping at the bit to get into the burn room. We'll be doing the final cure burn, what we're calling, and Pracknam will have a company donating some equipment, burn cribs, I'll call them, where we set the pallets in, and we'll do some experimental burns with some seasoned firefighters to determine where we place the cribs, how many pallets we can put on. The ceiling temperatures, we have thermal cameras that we can tell the temperatures, and we'll restrict the amount of temperatures we're allowing in the rooms, probably around 500 to 800 degrees at ceiling temperatures. So things that we have to, each room's different because of the airflows, when the windows are placed, where the walls are, etc. So it's still gonna be a learning experience for us and how we wanna best protect that building from overburns as well. Anybody, even instructors, we will have a facilitator from the committee, and we will work with developing other facilitators that are gonna oversee all the events. And there are cameras all 4 sides of the building, etc. And we'll have people inside with thermal cameras to make sure they aren't overheating the rooms and damaging the block walls. So, getting there. We're there. We're there. So, okay. Anything else?
That's it.
You did.